The opportunities led you also to become the first black chairman of Georgia Power.
Yes.
There are only 8 CEOs who are black, Fortune 500 companies. Why is it taking so long?
I think it's been limiting, and I think African Americans, women, Latinos, Asians, others have not been given the full opportunity. Their abilities have not been fully understood, valued, or appreciated. And so, yeah, there have been some institutional barriers that we have to overcome. But I think also just culturally making sure that the full person themselves, what they do, what their capabilities are fully valued and appreciated. And so that's why mentoring programs, opportunities to get to know others who are different than you are, different than the majority, are so critical, so important to keep breaking down these barriers and providing opportunities for others.
And you've been working with HBCUs. That's a joy and a love of yours.
It's, I mean, I love historically black colleges and universities. Man, I grew up going to football games on Saturdays and all dressed up in suits and ties and going down to Tallahassee for Florida A&M. Alabama State was not far from where I grew up. My mom went to Alabama A&M. So that has been a big part of my life and growing up. And so it continues to be a big part of my life. One of the things we pay attention to is HBCUs are an important part of our territory. And years ago, back in 2020 in January, we announced a $50 million commitment to historically black colleges and universities because I'd gone to some programs and I was in a conference with some individuals in the high-tech industry in Silicon Valley. And there was a conversation about the lack of diversity in high-tech. And the response was that sometimes we get far too often, I think is instinctive. They said, we can't find anybody, we can't find the people. And I said, well, because you aren't looking hard enough. So one of the things I also thought it was important to do was making sure we're working very closely with HBCUs here in Atlanta and all across our territories to make sure their curriculums, their programs were developing students to be capable to go do the data analytics, the data science, the high-tech work that many of the high-tech companies were in need of. And so that kind of spurred that commitment for the initial $50 million commitment. Because my thing is, and what I see so often is that students that go to HBCUs, many of them can go anywhere they want to go, but they choose to go to HBCUs. But then there's also a segment who go there that they can't go anywhere else, but when they graduate and they get a job, not only it changes their lives, but it changes their entire family's life. And that's how we help break the cycle of poverty. And so that's why I think it's so important for us to continue to make investments in historically black colleges and universities.